Front Row MMA, we're here with welterweight perennial contender and all-around good guy, Jake Ellenberger. Jake, I appreciate you spending a couple of minutes with us. You got a fight coming up now. It's January 14th. It's against certain 4th. Sorry, I'm putting it ahead. It's against a Strikeforce veteran. Perhaps not many people, pure UFC fans, know him, but Tarec, and I'm going to kill his last name, Saffiedine. Sorry, if I interview you, don't hit me. Look, what do you know about this guy, and how excited are you about stepping into the cage with him?
Well, what I've seen from him, he's a world champion. He's a former Strikeforce world champion, and we have some common opponents. Nate Marquardt, a few guys, but he trains at Team Quest. A lot of guys that I know really well, Dan Henderson and Heath Sims, some of the guys from, and I've trained there quite a bit myself, but. I've seen him fight a few times, and I've never trained with him. He's a tough kickboxer. I'm sure he's training with those. He's got to be well-rounded. So, but I have to take a look at some film. I haven't really seen a lot of him, to be honest.
The fight with Marquardt, I think he went in as the underdog. I think Marquardt was the champion at the time, and he dismantled Marquardt's legs. Marquardt being a fairly decent grappler, and knowing that that's one of your biggest strengths, do you figure that's how he's going to approach this fight? Always try to keep it at distance, keeping you at bay?
Yeah, that's really the equation for me is what am I going to bring to the table that he hasn't seen, and constantly just being unpredictable. But I think he's even with the Marquardt fight, you could tell he's got some great kicks, and those will add up. But as far as I'm not really sure how he's going to fight me. For me, I'm always continually trying to skill build, but striking is definitely where I feel comfortable.
Well, where do you think you've seen the biggest evolution in your game over the last 2 or 3 years? Because of course you came in again, you were a powerhouse wrestler, you're a juggernaut wrestler. No one doubted those credentials. Where have you seen the biggest growth in your skill set?
Well, when I started training, I started training kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. And then when I started getting more into MMA, that's when I started training wrestling. But like I said, constantly kind of training everywhere, putting myself in a lot of bad situations and scenarios. But and just having competed at this level for some time now, you kind of know what to expect, what you have to do. There's it's like a job. There's a lot of things you don't want to do, but you got to do it. So, but conditioning is something I've been focusing on, and really overall speed. I think that's probably the biggest thing I've been focused on the last couple of years is just getting faster, whether it's with my hands or my takedowns, but just being faster. Because at this level, it's really a matter of a minimal separation, a matter of inches. And for me, I think speed plays a large role. So that's something I've been working on. I've been doing a lot of grappling, a lot of jiu-jitsu. So I've been getting a lot more well-rounded, but really getting faster is something I focused most on.
I hate to talk about to a fighter about sort of past defeats, but every fighter says they learn when they haven't performed as well as they might. Mm-hmm. You haven't got many defeats on your record. The ones that you have, which was the one that you learned the most from, and how have you applied that in what you do since?
Well, that's hard. I think too. You gotta. For me, I get a lot of perspective. I get a lot of outside perspective because for me, I can think of 100,000 reasons of why I did what I did or why I didn't go the way I did. Why I didn't go the way I planned. So, I try to get as many people's opinions, and you can kind of take what you want. But people that I trust and that I value their opinions. So, this last fight was obviously not the way I assumed it would go. But it's the way. Everybody, Dana including in the UFC, didn't expect it was going to go. But just moving forward for me, I know. I've made some adjustments, things that I can do better. There's always things you can do better, and for me specifically, I know when I'm at my best and when I feel the best. So there's some things that I'm gonna there's some things that I focused on last time a little bit more than I should have, but that's every fight. I could say that about every loss I've had. Man, I should have done this. You should have done this. 20/20 hindsight. You got to make adjustments and move forward.
How excited are you to be stepping back into the cage? Is it not quick enough? Do you wish this fight was in 8 weeks' time? Are you happy? Did you need a little bit of time to sort of reevaluate and then get ready for a training camp?
Yeah, I had a couple nagging things that I had to heal up. So it was good though. It was good, kind of mentally get away a little bit, reset, readjust, and let a couple things heal. And it's hard to, it really is for me to not train or not be in the gym. It's a hard thing to do. So you're like, taking 2 weeks off, it feels like you take a few months off, but it's good for me though. So I've been training with Mark for his fight, and kind of easing back into it. But I'm excited to get back in there, definitely. But as a competitor, but I think it was good to have a little bit of time off.
What can the fans expect to see from you? Are we gonna see a different Jake Ellenberger? Are we gonna see the aggression that we're used to seeing?
Yeah. I'm really focusing on when I'm dangerous, and that's really putting pressure on guys and moving forward. So for me, making guys uncomfortable, moving forward. Like I said, I know where I'm good at, and I know where I'm not good at. So it's like you gotta. For me, I'm gonna keep moving forward, keep that pressure.
How important is that fan support to you? Because we're here at UFC 30, the Fight Night 30 today. We've seen the fan expos. We've seen it. How important is it to you as a fighter that the UFC allows you that access with the public, and that it's actually encouraged and embraced?
Well, it is. I think it's really important, not only for us as fighters, but for the growth of the sport in the UFC. But at the same time, I think the fans are really what make this sport, and I think a lot of the fighters kind of tend to forget that. They kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk to people. It's fight week, whatever. These are really the guys that are the people that are buying pay-per-views, and they're the ones that are making the sport what it is today. So I don't have a lot of fans, but there's the sport's growing. The sport's growing exponentially. So it is important for us fighters. It really is.
No, we appreciate it. We've grabbed you after a training session. We appreciate your time. But before we let you go, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to? Any sponsors you'd like to thank who are helping you out with your training at the moment?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, I'd like to thank Lunar Pages for always supporting me. Body Glove Surge and Virus, and thanks for all the support, and the fans. Actually, I can't forget the fans. The fans are what make the sport. So got to continue to thank the fans.
Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure talking to you. We wish you the best of luck January 4th, not 14th, 4th. Cheers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.